true, I went to Hawaii and this is what happened. On December 29th, I picked up a repaired surfboard from TC Surfboards in San Marcos. I was trying to get this board ready to go before my trip, and Tony had it ready for me. Today is the day picking up that green board. Let's see what Tony's got for me. Oh, and here we go. Wow, look at that. The man's probably in the back. Get a little sneak peek at this thing. Wow, it's one piece. I checked out some other cool new surfboards that were being built while I was there. So it begins getting ready for this trip to Hawaii. I got to pack up a couple boards, including the one I just got back from TC with that cool little repair. Also got to pack up the fins and another extra stick right here. And got the board bag. Got to dig the spring suit and the vest out of here and pop that in the carry-on. Not sure when I would use the spring suit, but freakier things have happened, so I'm just going to bring that for safe comfort. Maybe I'll just sleep in it. In the morning, been up since 4 o'clock I think, went to bed around midnight, bags are packed, just got to get the kids and wifey out the door. So we were a little nervous for the travel as Zach has autism and we have a small baby. Zach was nervous at first but then seemed to enjoy the new experience. The turbulence did keep all of us on our toes, of course, including Zach, and he did really well on the flight. Yeah. Made it to the airport anyways. Oh, it's sleepy time.
AA.com and your miles for today's flight. You may begin using approved electronic devices.
Also, please keep the aisle clear of your carry-on. Once we come to a complete stop at the gate, the seatbelt sign will be turned off. That will be your indication it's safe to get up and move about the cabin. At that time, check carefully.
We woke up December 31st to an epic Hawaiian morning. It started out with an Uber ride to surf Laniakeas and Boltons. After that sesh, some locals pulled over and offered me a ride back up the coast to my place. So the trip started with some good luck and a lot of aloha. The blue water and the blue skies in our backyard could not be beat. My family and the Epic Surf News team completed the good vibes. And that was New Year's Eve, and so that evening we barbecued, played some games, just had a good family time to celebrate the last day of 2017 and for the new year. Feeling pretty good on the first, I dawn patrolled with some neighbors that were beginners. I jumped in their car and they took me to a place called Pua'ena, which I've never surfed before. It was right by Haleiwa. You could actually see really good waves down the way at Haleiwa breaking, and this place was mainly for beginners. I always have fun, but the challenge at this place is that everyone took off on waves with no sense of priority. So every wave I caught had two people in front of me, two people behind me, but you work with it. You know, I had a good time and the other guys had a good time as well, and I was able to share some pearls of wisdom about surfing while we were there, and I think they really appreciated that too. So after that session, my family and I started the new year off with a day trip to Waimea and some rock jumping. I wasn't going to jump off the rock, but my daughters wanted to go for it, so I just held the video camera and let them do their thing. Stay there, go back. So unfortunately later that day, my son and I started getting sick, most likely catching a bug from numerous sick, coughing people that were on our inbound flight. So we were starting to fall hard, but we were just gonna push on. So by the end of the day, we went to the food trucks over next to Foodland, and they had some decent grinds, really good music, good vibes. The waits were long, some of the orders were a little messed up, but hey, it was what it was. So the whole trip, swell was just hitting. So the next day, January 2nd, woke up to waves pumping out front of our house at a spot called Three Tables. I think it's usually probably one of the worst places on the North Shore to surf, but there was definitely size, and this place was delivering some waves. It is a tricky place to surf, so you have to kind of weave in between rocks. High tide's a little bit easier. The rocks are super sharp, and there's a bunch of big ones kind of scattered throughout the lineup. So later that day, I picked up a rental car, cruising around, and I had to pull over for this epic shot of this sunset that's going over these Hawaiian peaks. So the fevers were kicking in that night. I had the chills, starting to cough. It was really tough, but I had been following the forecast for January 3rd, which was going to be a Wednesday. The plan was for the fam and I to go to Pipeline and catch some footage of some insane barrels, and that's exactly what happened. Pipe was producing 6 to 10 foot plus waves with plenty of gems in the mix. I felt like staying in bed sick that day, but the inner fire for surfing just compelled me to roll up on Pipe. And so, of course, after watching all that action at Pipe, I had to squeeze in a session over at Three Tables, which is like 3 doors down from where I was staying. This little place was maxing out. Yes, I had an insane flu, but the swell was hitting everywhere. So check this out. I was talking to a guy out in the lineup, and he said someone got attacked by a shark at Laniakeas the same day I surfed there. So that was kind of scary information. Of course, we were surfing not too far from there, an easy swim for a shark from Laniakeas to Three Tables, but definitely had to figure out what happened. So I went online, confirmed that there was some reports of something happening over there. The reports didn't really say where it was at, but I was going to find out. So the next morning on the 4th, I went back to Laniakeas to surf, and then got more intel about the shark attack. So I just talked to the lifeguard here at Laniakeas, and which is over there. But the other day, that shark attack actually happened over this way at a place called Boltons, and that's where I was surfing actually just maybe 2 or 3 hours before the shark attack happened. The waves were a little better there on that day. When I was paddling in, I had that same sharky feeling and was kind of trying to have that mad dog vibe as you would if a rabid dog was trying to attack you or something on the street. So I had to cap off this epic day, and we did an evening run over to Turtle Bay for an epic sunset. And by January 5th, 4 out of 6 of the people in our group were sick with the flu. Our only option was to bake in the sun at Turtle Bay and just try to recover. And like I was saying, the swells just would not stop. So on January 7th, I went back up to Pipe, and there was definitely waves for Dahui Backdoor Shootout. You can go online, learn more about that contest. Pretty interesting, kind of ties into the Hawaiian history a little bit.
By the time we got to January 8th, our only mission was to relax, drink pineapple drinks, and then pack up for our departure back to the mainland. Dawn Patrol once again headed back to the airport to jump on a plane back to Cali. We were all full-blown sick and by this time barely survived the trip. Good morning, everyone. It's Dawn Patrol, Hawaiian time. It's about 4:30, which I didn't even know was part of the clock on Hawaiian time. Let's give you a little idea there on the stove. This is our vacation rental place. It's been an awesome trip. The waves have been insane, anywhere from good size to more than you want. You can hear some of the waves sometimes. Right now it's quieted up. Yeah, it doesn't want to play for you here. Get the family ready. Gotta head back to the airport. Waiting for the shuttle to pick us up. Everything's packed up. Check out Junior here. He's just cruising, watching movies on his iPad. Half of us got sick, so we were kind of managing that, trying to surf and breathe at the same time. So that was the flu. I think we imported it from San Diego or LA. A lot of people on the plane were sick all around us, but pulled it off. I'll show you a little mini me right here too. Get the little guy quarantined, or at least with his mom, who was also sick. Somehow the baby didn't get sick. I think the older kids got sick, or one of them did just last night, so fortunately she has to go home and probably deal with that. I don't know if you can hear that, but that was some waves crashing there. So check back in with you somewhere on the trip. So we made it back home, but the adventure actually continued due to American Airlines delaying my surfboards. They were kind enough to get them couriered to my home the next day. I was definitely nervous. I was bummed about the boards not showing up and having to wait at the airport to find out they weren't showing up, all that kind of stuff. The only thing I saw that kind of happened with my boards in the travel was that TSA had opened up my bag on both inbound and return flights. And, you know, what happens is that they kind of undo your packaging that I had, you know, put a lot of time into. But definitely would help if TSA was a little bit better about how they deal with surfboards and how the airlines deal with surfboards in general. Okay, I was just starting to panic. My boards hadn't showed up today. They did say it was going to be here at about, I don't know, 12 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Longer they have the boards, the bigger chance of being damaged. All right, so I'm going to open this thing up, unlock it, find out how everything turned out. I was so nervous. I was already complaining, whining a little bit on my personal Facebook account to all my buddies, and of course, like 2 minutes later, Brazilian guy rolls up, cool little station wagon with my board, and turns out he surfs. He knows about the issues with shipping his boards to Brazil and Hawaii, so that made me feel a little bit better. It seems like it came in a nice, cozy ride instead of some crammed up courier van or something. So let's check it out. So of course, you know, I got a couple layers of different things going on here. Of course, TSA put their little notice in. They like to open up your stuff and mess up your cool packaging that you had in place, so it may not be exactly as it was. But they did that on the way there. See, look at all this play. So thanks, TSA. You know they suck. They don't care about it. Alright. So we'll first check this guy out here. Alright, let's see what we got. That for the tail patch. So you see I kind of put together a little extra precautions here and there. And on the nose I kind of have something similar. And then of course I had that all attached with a little bubble on the bottom. So the Nom Nom board that was actually fixed before I went. I probably showed you guys that there. So that is all in pretty good condition. Channels all feel good. Fin boxes looking sharp. Rails. Oh yes, one board. One of my favorite boards too. So I'm really happy that this one made it in one piece. My wife who's recording here, Michelle, she's super big help on the back end of all my stuff, and she knows I've been definitely getting a little stressed the longer this took to get these boards in. Here's another little packing piece. And of course I had all this other stuff in there. This was kind of more around there like that. Little life jacket for the Grom. So that shifted around. Some towels. Oops. And let's see, here's my other board. Here's a thruster guy. Same thing, little cardboard bubble tail protector. And nose protector dude, all custom. And this one's looking pretty good too. So now that I don't really need this stuff, we're gonna kind of do it this way. You see how I put this cardboard right across the center there, and then bubble wrap on the top. So in case it takes a hard blow, you won't put a direct ding or fracture into the glassing. So, tail feels good. Rails. And pressure ding, I already had that. Fin boxes. Man, looking sharp.
Yay.
And, what's that, babe?
I said yay.
Yeah, oh, little trunks I had stashed in there too. And then the last thing here, little fancy padding that Decine put in there for my thing. And boom, quad for that little mini 5.4. An extra set of fins there for backup. And my John fins for the thruster Everything's here. American Airlines, I'm sorry for everything I said. And courier people, thank you. So that's the trip, everybody. Thanks a lot for following us on this trip and for following Epic Surf News. Go and give the comments and share our videos and return again. And thanks for supporting us. Have a good one.